Today we're going to tour a garage full of sleepers and supercars. I'm Justin.
And I am Aaron.
And this is Husman Bros. And before we go too much further, please subscribe for more great content like this down below. And if you like my funny t-shirt, go down there and buy one as well. Help keep us going. So today, let's get started on touring this incredible garage.
Yeah, let's check out some of these supercars.
No. Let's start with the sleepers.
All right.
So you never know what you'll find in a nondescript business park in Dallas. We do a lot of tours of garages in Texas, but the great thing about Dallas is there's so many great things like this hidden in places that you wouldn't expect.
A lot of space in Dallas, a lot of space to spread out. So you have warehouses that you'll find like this. And for certain people, they do more than store lumber in there. They actually store some of their collection, like this boring old truck here.
I don't think it's boring. Cousin Ricky doesn't own very many boring things, so let's talk about this.
That's true, this thing is slammed.
So what we have here is what you might think is just a boring, old lowered 65 Chevy C10 in a great color, a little bit of patina, you know, Grandpa's truck, pulled it out from the back of the house.
But this is a sleeper. How do you feel about twin turbo V8s?
Close to 1,000 horsepower in this thing, if not more. This is something else. What an incredible build this is, and just a really great natural looking patina type car with a monster heart inside it.
Yeah, you know, it's not a perfect truck, which is fantastic, because really when you have a truck, really you have a perfect vehicle that you've restored, it's gonna get a couple of nicks and bruises here. You can see some of these. Well, I don't know, is this planned? Is it just the way that it worked out? I can tell this truck was done with some patina in mind. I think it looks fantastic. Really low. This is a lowered truck.
Maybe, although maybe he ran out of money and just couldn't afford the paint job.
Hey,
we'll never know. We'll never know. Now let's move on to this one, which is another fun truck.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite style of Chevy.
Yeah, this is my youth right here.
Right.
Yeah, this is the trucks that were driving around a lot. They didn't look quite like this.
Well,
the ones that look like this, you didn't think a whole lot of.
You know, when we were growing up, this was about as much as we could dream to get, to buy a new truck that was like this that was on the road. So this one is not 1,000 horsepower, but it is not a stock plant in this car either.
Now, this is an LS7 motor that's been swapped out in this one.
Great car, and I think this is a very low mileage car, like 1,200 original miles.
12,000.
12,000 original miles
in this truck. Trucks are not your thing. Maybe you like some muscle car. This ZL1 might be the right one for you. Love the blue on this one, the carbon fiber hood as well. So this is an amp build. It's got a pulley and it's got a tune on it. Pushes about 800 horsepower, which is terrifying in this car. They are super cool, but blind spots everywhere. Don't drive this thing in the rain. No traction. If it's a little dark outside, you're probably not going to be able to see things. And that's why this one keeps a very low mileage, because as you can tell, Cousin Ricky's got plenty to drive, including this beauty.
Yeah, I love this one. This one's stock.
All original, dually.
This is my old man truck. This is ideal. I don't really haul anything. My Ranger does fine for me, but this is fantastic. I would love to have a dually like this. So this truck has been used.
Lightly used. I mean, it's got 70,000 miles, which isn't nothing, but for a truck this old, 70,000 is really barely broken in.
And it looks fantastic. Finding a truck like this that's not used up is very hard. And at 70,000, this is kind of a newish truck for this era. Now this one I really love. This one is the truck of my youth. I drove a C10 Custom Deluxe 3-speed, straight six, the slowest car I've ever driven in high school. This is the diametric opposite of this one. This one has an LS swap as well. Built by Nathan Hale, really great swap. And what I really love about this one is that it looks like an old school motor in here. He did a really good job of keeping it really simple, but at the same time, all the little details are important. Look how clean this engine bay is. No wires, no extra stuff. This was a well thought out build. This one makes me happy and sad at the same time. So this is a Pontiac Firebird. I briefly owned a Firebird, but it was crushed by a tornado. This one has 150 miles on it. 150 miles. And here's the thing about these cars. These cars were all used up. There are not many of these cars left. This is towards the end of this body style, and frankly, the end of Pontiac as well. 2000, a 24-year-old car with 150 miles on it. I begged Ricky to let me drive it. We are not that good or that closely related of family. So he wouldn't let me do it, but he did say that we could drive some of the more fun ones. This one we can drive.
But we're not going to drive it in this video. You're going to have to come back and see this one. But this is a 2020 2024 Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato.
So Aaron, you said it wrong. Let me pronounce it correctly. This is a 2024 Lamborghini Sterrato.
And Sterrato is Italian for switchblade.
No, it's not. It's Italian for dirt road. Although this is as versatile as a switchblade. You could take it to the grocery store. You could stab your neighbor with it. We'll come back to this one later, but subscribe so you can watch this whole video. Now,
here's another one that a lot of people love, and what's not to love about a Ford GT. Love the paint color on this one. I think Ricky's had this one for quite some time. I know this has been in the garage, and I can understand why. Who would ever want to get rid of this? It's the perfect white with the blue racing stripes. So this is a 2005 Ford GT. Perfect paint scheme in my opinion. Love the white with the blue racing stripes. So the Ford GT has 3 generations. The original Ford GT40, which was called the GT40 because the roof was 40 inches off of the ground. Then came the second generation, which was made in 05 and 06, the Ford GT, and then the more recent generation that you've probably seen and drooled over of the Ford GT. The thing to know about this car is that if you were bargain shopping for Ford GTs, this is the generation that you want. The original Ford GTs, they didn't make many, so there's about 10 million. The newer Ford GTs, those are over $1 million, but this is a mere $500,000. So I have it on good authority from a member of the Ford family that of the 3 generations of Ford GT, this is the one to own, and not because it's the cheapest. So what are you doing over here?
I'm hanging out. We've done plenty of garage tours here, so garages tend to be man caves as well, and this one's no different.
Yeah.
This is not like garages of Texas where they own it, but they've set up a place to hang out. We have our poker table. We have a very, very Texan cooler covered with booze. A couple of pinball machines here, the mixer fridge, various sports memorabilia.
Great sports memorabilia, Hall of Famers, Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders. I love this lounge area and the vibe of this garage. We've toured some garages that are bougie. I mean, they are very, very nice. This one is.
Did you say bougie?
Yes, I said bougie.
It's okay. We're on video. I just was curious what word you were using, so I say bougie fits.
But this one would not fall into the bougie category, but it is no less impressive. Who would not love to have a place like this with your pinball machines? You can watch the game. You got your sports stuff. I can tell you, there are not many wives that are signing up for this in their house.
Right.
And that's why you need a garage, because you gotta have some place you can call your own. You got poker with the guys. You already mentioned the tremendous bar that we have over here. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters the functionality of it. How can it be used? And I think you can use it for everything you need here.
And here's the other thing that you gotta recognize. If you're gonna build your own man cave garage, first, get a bunch of awesome cars. But second, here's the secret. Make sure it's 30 minutes away from your house. It's just far enough so it's an annoyance for your wife, but close enough that she can bring your lunch if you forget it. That's Justin's tip of the day. So before we get to the last car here, which is really awesome, I want to talk about the garage decorations. And really, these are great. These are all vintage decorations, garage stuff, street signs, highway signs, things like that. But what's really great about these is that for a long time, you can get these for almost nothing. And this is a collection that's been built up over time. I think it looks really great. Frankly, I'm jealous I don't have a wall like this in my garage, but I know that these have been being purchased for quite some time. You don't just put a collection like this overnight. We have a couple restrooms, some more sports memorabilia, but let's get to this last car. Now this is a car from my high school era. This is a Fox Body Mustang. A little later, Fox Body, great car. These were the cars to have in high school. I never had one. As I said, we dreamed at best about pickup trucks. This was completely out of the range, but this one's really, really nice. It brings me back a lot. But it's more than just being a nice car. It's more than just nostalgia. As this is a sleeper garage, this car, while it's not done, has a 5.0 Coyote swap. And as someone who's driven plenty of cars from this era, I can only imagine what a hoot this thing is to drive. So thank you for watching today. Subscribe for more great content like this. We will see you next time, and come back because we're doing a full video on the Sterrato.